Hey besties, it's wrap up time. So in the month of September I read 6 books and I actually had a very good reading month. I am going to pull up my Goodreads. If you want to follow me on Goodreads, it's just Bethany Night, it's in my bio. So to kickstart September I read a comme-ci comme-ça kind of book. This is my cute Kindle. The first book I read was on my Kindle, which is why I've pulled it out. I've got the Kindle Paperwhite. I'm currently reading Butcher and Blackbird, if you would like to know. And this is the case that I have. Just keeps it protected. It's from Amazon. So the first book I read on my Kindle was The Co-Worker by Freida McFadden. I got sent this as an ARC from NetGalley, and actually it wasn't through NetGalley. I actually emailed the publisher, but then they sent me a NetGalley link. But anyway, besides the point, I got an ARC of The Co-Worker by Freida McFadden. I gave it 3 stars. So throughout the novel you follow Natalie and Dawn. They are 2 co-workers. Natalie is kind of the hotshot of the business, hotshot saleswoman of, I think it's like vitamins or something that they work for. And Dawn is fairly new, but she's a little bit, I hate to use the word weird, but she is a bit weird. And she loves turtles. You will be sick of the word turtle, I will say that. Thing is, you're following 2 very unreliable main characters. It's dual POV, you follow Dawn and Natalie. They're both extremely unreliable, and it's not till the end until you realise like who's telling the truth. So by Freida McFadden I've read The Housemaid, The Housemaid's Secret. Oh my god, The Housemaid is Watching's coming out soon. The cover got revealed the other day, that's the 3rd one. And The Inmate. And I read both of The Housemaid's 5 stars and I read The Inmate 4 stars. So The Co-Worker's definitely been my least favourite so far. If I hadn't read those others by Freida McFadden, maybe I would have rated it higher, but I think I was comparing it a little bit. I really could not care less about Dawn's POV. They were all written in email form to her friend Mia, I think she was called. I just couldn't, I found Dawn extremely boring, which I know was the point, but it was just, I didn't want to sit through and read a long ass email about Dawn's personal life, to be quite honest. So aside from that, I did enjoy the premise of the book. It just wasn't as shocking as Freida's other books for me, in my opinion. Next I started the Chestnut Spring series and I read Flawless, which is the first book, and I thought I annotated. Oh, I kind of did. Oh, so I did annotate, but I remember, so I have a reading vlog up of this. It's already up. Is it already up? I don't think it is already up. Yes, it is. I read this in my swapping screen time for reading video, I think. Anyway, I'll put it here so you can see which one it is. But I did annotate, and I remember saying in that video that I couldn't be bothered to keep carrying my tabs around, so I just highlighted and then I was going to tab at a later date, which I never did. So that's great for me. So Flawless is about a woman called, I don't know. The problem when a book is in 3rd person is that the blurb is in 3rd person. 3rd person? 1st person. The blurb is in 1st person and you don't know who the main character is. Summer. This is about Summer and Rhett. Summer is working for her dad, who is an agent for Rhett. Rhett is a bull rider, a professional bull rider, and he's basically needs a babysitter because he's just chaos. So Summer takes up the role of babysitting him. The spice in this book, Rhett's mouth, I can't talk about it on here because it's just too inappropriate, but I rated this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I'm sure I'll love the rest of the series and I cannot wait to read more. Also, on another note, one of my favourite movies in the whole world is The Longest Ride, and this gives The Longest Ride. So if you love that movie, then read this book. I know I said I had a good reading month, but this has got to be the worst book I have read this year. Maybe. I read The Library Suicides, but I DNF'd it. I can't remember if that was this year or last year. I think it was this year, but I hated that as well. But anyway, I gave this 1.5 stars. I did not enjoy this book at all, which is such a shame because Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris is one of my favourite books in the whole world. This is advertised as a domestic thriller. It is more of a domestic fiction. There is nothing thrilling and exciting about this book at all. It follows a couple, can't remember their names, don't care to remember their name. Oh, it says it on the back, perfect. Livia and Adam. Follows a couple who's they've both got secrets, and I can't explain because it will just spoil the whole thing. They both have secrets that they don't tell each other, and both of their secrets are so absolutely huge. The first thing a normal person would do is run to their significant other and tell the other person, because these secrets don't involve each other, they involve their daughter. So it's more like your daughter's got in trouble and you're hiding it from your husband, instead of telling your husband straight away because she could be in danger. Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't tell each other these stupid things. This is a 40-year-old woman who has been preparing for her amazing 40th birthday her whole life. Are you 5? Like, I don't understand, and she doesn't want to ruin this birthday. And to be honest, this book could have been compiled into a 50-page novella or short story, because it did not need to be over 300 pages long. It was just constant repetitiveness, and I honestly advise nobody to read this book. I mean, for the sake of Goodreads, I did round it up to 2 stars. That was pretty generous of me. It's got an average rating of 3.51 stars, and it's got 57,000 reviews, so I feel like that's not great. Oh, my phone's ringing. I'm back. I hope I didn't change angles too much. My dad called me about work. Then I read Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I actually read this as a library book and then loved it so much that I went out and bought it. Daniel is my favourite book boyfriend in the entire world. I genuinely think this is probably the best book I've read all year. Do I want to make that statement? Am I bold for making that statement? Yes, I am. But do I care? No, I don't, because I loved this book so much. I cannot even explain to you. Daniel was just the most adorable, sweet, kind, loving human in the world, and Alexa, although she had her faults and although her communication and her worries and her struggles overcome her, I don't know what the right word is. She's not even called Alexa, she's called Alexis. Those two together, I cried so much reading this book. It was just so fantastic. It's about Alexis, who is a doctor. She lives in the city and her car runs off the road, or she gets a flat tire or something, and Daniel, who works in a B&B on like a farm in a really, really small town, it's a small town romance, helps her, and then he helps her in other ways too. It's an age gap romance. I think she's 10 years older than him. I think he's 28 and she's 38, but you just wouldn't really notice when you're reading the book. It didn't bother me at all. It's not something that I actually knew going into the book, but I loved it so much. 5 million stars. Next, I read another ARC that I was given. I read it late, as usual, like I do with ARCs, because I'm so rubbish at reading them on time. This is Tempt My Heart by J. Church, and how gorgeous is this cover? It's one of those matte covers that a lot of indie published authors do, and it's like floppy. Oh my god, I just loved this book. This book was so good. I think I gave it 4 stars. Yes, I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was a brilliant book. It's a workplace romance about a woman and her boss. I think she's called Ali. Yes, Ali, and her boss is Christopher. Ali's ex is a paparazzi, and he is threatening Ali with revenge porn, basically. Threatening to leak a video that he filmed of her. And basically what he wants is for Ali to be Christopher's date to his best friend's wedding. Christopher's best friend, I can't remember his name, but I know his fiance's name is Rose, and she's really, really famous. So the ex, he's irrelevant. I can't remember his name either. I think it begins with a J. Jared. He wants Ali, sorry, I'm explaining this so bad. Jared wants Ali to go to the wedding, send him secret photographs, because Rose does not want any paparazzi at her wedding. She wants it to be private. And then Christopher's kind of umming and ahhing. Does he help Ali out or does he not help her out, basically? But it's a steamy romance. Oh my god, the things Christopher does to Ali. 2 words. Mall scene. You know what I'm talking about if you've read this book. If you love spicy romance, if you love forbidden romance, colleague, workplace romance, then you are going to absolutely love this book. Finally, I read Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I read this for my Bemmy's Book Club September pick, and Again, this is one of the best books I've read this year. 5 million stars. Again, it's about a girl called Iris and a boy named Roman. They write each other secret letters. It's branded as enemies to lovers, but it's more rivals to lovers. They're workplace rivals, and they're both going for the same promotion. Iris's brother has gone off to war because this is a fantasy. There is a war between two gods, and Iris's brother has gone off to fight in the war. She hasn't heard from him in a long time, so she starts writing him letters. He doesn't respond, and then all of a sudden she gets a letter back. This letter is from Mr. Roman. And Iris doesn't know it's Roman that she's talking to, but Roman knows that it's Iris. It was just so good. I cried so much. If you go onto the Bemmy's Book Club TikTok page, you will see my reaction to the ending of this book. This is probably my most heavily annotated book that I own. I'm so proud of my annotations. I love them, and I'm definitely going to be rereading this book again and again and again. I think the second book comes out in December, but in the UK I don't think it comes out till January, but either way I'm super duper excited, and I just cannot wait to read more Rebecca Ross. So these were the books I read. Not as many as last month, but definitely some really good reads this month. I cannot wait for spooky season to start reading my witchy reads, my thriller reads. I cannot wait. If you have any suggestions, please comment them below. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.